Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm miacaven and I talk way too fast. Today, I told everyone on my Twitter that I was doing a Q&A. So I have the questions up here, that's just why I'm looking over this side. And I'm gonna get down and dirty, answer your questions. There's a lot of questions about twin flame stuff, and I just want to put a little disclaimer that I will not be speaking about my situation with that. However, I am in one. So everything I say is not going to be a projection from experience, because I hate when these spiritual people come on here and on Twitter too, and it's like projection this, projection that, projection this, and it's just like, just feeds anxiety, which is the last thing I want to do. So I'm not going to project, but because I'm in the situation, I have done my research and I'm still doing my research, and so I will reply with what I know. And aside from that, a little disclaimer again is that every twin flame situation is very different, very, very different. And the things you see on Twitter it's just not true. A lot of the things you see, people either have a very overly romanticized view on it or an overly negative view on it, and neither is accurate. So if you're in one, I feel like you will know, because I just knew. My dad's making me some tea, so we're probably gonna get interrupted, but then I can sit here with my mug like this and look like one of them aesthetic lifestyle YouTubers that I want to be so badly. Okay, the first question is from Zoot of the Loom. I have no idea what that means, but I kind of vibe with it because it's a cool name. My question is, are you in a twin flame situation? Yes. If yes, how do you process it? Also, if you have suggestions for meaningful shadow work around twin flame connections. Okay, if yes, how do you process it? I don't. I'm literally going with the flow. That's it. But that's me with everything. So my advice, personally, is go with the flow. If you aren't in communication, go with it. So I don't process it. I just literally have to go with the flow. And that was something I learned from the beginning, was to literally let go of control. And ever since going with the flow, amazing things have happened. So I'm just trusting the process. That's it. That's the answer. Trust the process. How do you process it? I don't, but I trust the process. Do I have suggestions for meaningful shadow work? And you want to know something funny? I felt the need to do shadow work at a very random point before this entire twin flame thing, like right before it, and I literally wrote like 10 pages worth of shadow work. And the way I did it was I went onto Pinterest and I found journal prompts and just spilt everything out. All my emotions, all the shit I've been through, all my bad traits, everything you can think of is on those pages. And people often talk about how hard it can be, but I think my entire life has just been one big shadow work, and I processed my trauma years ago, but it was kind of like I needed to revisit it to release it properly. And as soon as I finished my shadow work, because it took like a couple days of just getting stuff out, because you never really finish shadow work, that's the thing, like, and that's not to scare you, but you just don't finish healing, you know? Like, you can, but it's like, it's an ongoing thing where we just look after ourselves and heal and stuff. But the funny thing is as soon as I finished that shadow work, the twin flame thing happened. So the thing is, it's gonna be hard if you have never come to terms with your trauma and you haven't even started to heal, because I have taken this entire year to my advantage to be a better person and for me, and to heal all those things and have hope and things like that. And if I hadn't taken this year to do that, if I hadn't done what I've done in the past few years, I wouldn't have been able to do that shadow work. And don't get me wrong, the second you finish shadow work, it doesn't get easier. It just doesn't. That's just not how it works. But it also does at the same time, because you're letting it out, and keeping shit in is not good. But I don't like to talk to people, so writing, everyone knows this. If you know me, you know that writing is the best. So write it out, journal it, but do it in a way that benefits you, because if you can't write for the life of you, then don't force yourself to. Do it in any way you can. Heal any way you can. It's not something you can force. Next question. Can someone be a soulmate and a twin flame, or are the concepts intertwined? This was from Michaela 1198 1992. Okay. Twin flame connections are a type of soulmate connection, but a soulmate connection is not necessarily a twin flame connection. So, twin flames are soulmates? Yes. To answer it simply, yes, because it's a type of soul connection. Technically, soul family and everything is a type of soulmate connection because your souls are intertwined in one way or another. However, twin flames are not just soulmates. Twin flames is like this one big, completely different thing, but it's like under the umbrella term of soulmate. Whereas a soulmate connection, so the typical soulmate connection that we talk about, whether it be romantic or platonic, is not a twin flame connection. That's completely different. Like, they're two different things, but the umbrella term soulmate, they both come underneath it. So that's answering it simply. They're kind of intertwined, but they're also very different. So if you have a soulmate, they're not a twin flame. But if you have a twin flame, they're a type of soulmate. I hope I explained that well. My lovely mutual friend, Coral, asked me favorite guided meditations. I'm gonna just say it now. I'm a slut for guided meditations. Some of my favorite people that do guided meditations, I'm going to do that instead of like actual videos, because the best thing is that you find someone that fits you and a video that essentially helps you, because that you feel drawn to. Because if you start leeching off other people's what they feel connected to, it's just not going to help you or work out. I cannot express how much this YouTuber has helped me through everything with his wise words. Master, there we go, I can say these, Sri Akashana. I'm very British in the way I say that, but I hope I didn't violate. He is incredible. His videos I watch him every day. He's the one person I religiously watch. He does everything. He talks about manifestation, he talks about meditation, he talks about law of attraction, everything. But he has some of my favorite, I think he is my most favorite guided meditations person. I have loads here. So I have raise your vibrations, remove negative energies. Best thing is that they're short. So they're only like 15 minutes, and you will know if you've looked it up. There's some here for like an hour, and I just don't have the time or patience for that. So he's my favorite. But then Leo Alexandra has some. She's actually currently at the moment doing a everyday for November meditation. So I've been doing that, and she's incredible. I love another one that I will say I do like a lot, and that has worked very well. It's guided meditations with Nikki Sutton. She is awesome. I mean, I don't know too much about her, unlike the other people that I listen to and watch, but her meditations work incredibly, because like the visualizations I have during them are like chef kiss, you know? How do you know when something like a message is for you? Like, there are messages that are totally accurate when describing some elements or situations, and it resonates, but does that mean that message is for me? And this is from Adriana Stika. I probably just violated your name. I say this all the time, and I need to be so clear when I say it. You will know. Even if you feel like you're so out of whack with your intuition, it is something that you will just know. It should not cause you anxiety. So if it causes you anxiety, just be like, it's not for me. Out the way. If there is a negative message and it keeps you, but you feel calm, like there's no anxiety, that just means your intuition knew deep down, and that is probably for you. Positive ones. If it comes up with messages and elements, like you said, and it's just so completely accurate, then of course it's for you. If it hits that deep and everything is accurate, of course it's for you. Often with messages, I feel it in my chest. I spoke about this in my last video with trusting your intuition. There's like a warmth in my chest and I'm like, damn, wow, the accuracy, that was for me. And like my body is letting me know. Oh my god, how do you say this? Vini Nosor. I violate all of your usernames. Thank God. This is from Bella. That's what I should have said. When people who are medium and clairaudience say they hear something, did they really hear a voice or is it just a thought? It's not hearing a voice. Like, you're not hearing someone else, but it's not a thought. It's like an intuitive hit. Like, I have visions. I felt so right. That's me. Wait, she says that. That's me. Yeah, that's literally me. So I can't really speak for these people, but I'm sure they don't hear voices. Because for me, when I hear something, it's more like, oh, I hear like a song, like spirit sends me a song and I just start thinking of a song, or like a sentence or like words. That's what it's like for me. Okay, I'm gonna go get my tea because it's probably gonna be cold. I'm forcing us to get cozy. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to, get cozy. That was, ooh. Okay, I got my tea. Let's get on to the next question. Diana Torres 0 says, asked, same thing, not really. Anyways, how do I get started on reading tarot cards even when my parents don't like it or any of that type of stuff? So divination, basically. Like, when I buy tarot cards one day, do I hide them? I'm sorry you're in a situation like that. That must really suck, because luckily, I mean, my parents aren't like into it, like they don't do tarot or anything, but I've taught them so much that they are getting into it. So I mean, they've always been a bit hippy dippy and spiritual in some sense, but I've taught them the majority of what they know, which is fun, and I'm very lucky and I'm very grateful for that. So I can't say from experience what I did, because I literally kind of turned around to my mum and I was like, I'm buying tarot cards, by the way. Hope that's alright. But if you are not an adult, like if you're not 18, because I was 17 when I got them, I think 16, 17. If you're an adult, you should just go buy them and be proud about it. And, you know, I can understand how restrictive some parents can be. But if you are 18 and over, you should genuinely rebel and just go get them, because there is nothing evil or bad about tarot. Not even the devil card in itself has the ability to carry those types of things. It's literally one of the most positive things ever. And I'm not saying it's like all love and light. I'm just saying it's something that holds a very positive energy, because it guides and helps people. And since when is guiding and helping people a bad thing, you know? Since when did we decide that as a collective? We didn't. So don't hide it unless you feel unsafe, and in which case you shouldn't. And if you are of age, come live with me, move out. It's fine, we'll find a place. I would try and sit them down and talk to them about it, like physically show them that it is not an evil thing, because I think there are so many skeptics about it, which is totally fine and valid, but it's just not a bad thing at all. Just speak to them if you can, and if you can't, then yes, do it in secret, I guess. Just do it, you know, on the low key. But you shouldn't have to hide that part of yourself if you are interested in it. You shouldn't have to do that with anyone, not even your parents, not a partner, not friends. So just make sure that you stay safe. And I'm not talking about the tarot cards, I'm talking about in your household. Okay, Samantha Psychic. I love your username, by the way, because I can tell it's like a Samantha. I get it. How do we practice awakening our abilities? And also, what's the best method you know for connecting to the divine? Here's the thing. People use words like the divine all the time, and it is just thrown everywhere. What does that even mean? I just connect to my spirits, and that's about it. I'm like, hey spirits, what's up? How do I practice awakening my abilities? Tarot helps me do that, but intuitively I've always been intuitive, and my entire family has been. Like, my little sister is the most intuitive person most of the time. Things that help me: meditation, yoga, healthy mindset, manifestation, which kind of sounds crazy. Like, I don't manifest like getting in touch with my abilities. I literally just, by manifesting, I feel powerful, and that gets me in touch with my abilities. Self-love. Self-love is a really big one. If you don't know your worth, how are you gonna find the worth in your ability? So do things that make you happy. That's my main thing. What's the best method I know for connecting to the divine? Here's the thing, I'm at the point where I can literally just be like, sup spirits, how we doing today? Because everyone has like such a formal way of talking to their guides. My spirits like to play jokes on me. We're in beef half the time, okay? The way I connect, I can't cry, and everyone who knows me is going to be like, that's such a lie, but I cannot cry. So sometimes I have to force myself, like once a month I have to force it out of me and like cry like the Hulk. I should just sit in bed and I listen to emotional music, because music is how we connect. That's one of the ways I connect. That's really important. Or meditative music, yeah. You can do meditations for it as well. Guided meditations are great for that. And I literally just burst out crying. Like, I force myself to cry and I just talk. And the one thing I like to do is I like to be able to see the sky at night when I do it, but sometimes I feel their presence like around my bed, on my bed, around the room. So I just kind of like look at them and I'm like, sup? It's like that time of the month again, I'm crying. And they're like, fucking finally. So that's how I do it. I literally have to force like the emotion out of me, because I let things pent up and it just doesn't come out. So I have to force it out of me before I become a literal volcano. And I just talk to them because they're like, oh, finally, she's doing something. She's releasing. We can have a conversation now. To get to this point, do what feels right. That's always going to be the answer in spirituality, because it's completely your own individual journey. And that's what I love about it. So I hope that I answered that. I feel like I'm just not answering these at all. Okay, the next question is from Cherish. How do you become more intuitive and start shadow work to become spiritually awakened? I kind of covered this, so I'm not going to go into it deeply. I do already have a video on how to become more intuitive, or like how to trust your intuition and understand what is your intuition and what's coming through. And I touched on shadow work earlier. So journal prompts, it's all about you, and it's all about how you connect and release. That's the answer, how you connect and release, to be honest with you. Christina, hello, asked, how old were you when you became spiritually awakened? Thank you for the opportunity to learn so many of these things. You're so welcome. I love doing this. This is my purpose, partially. I'm gonna be rich and famous one day. I was, Jesus Christ. Well, like I said, I've always been very intuitive. I've always believed in the universe. I was not brought up religious, but I did have a lot of religious influences around me. Every school I went to was like religious. My grandparents were religious, but it was never forced on me. So I kind of built my own beliefs, and for a very long time I was atheist, and then I kind of got more into spirituality and I was like, oh wait, I kind of fuck with this. So that's kind of how I came to be spiritual. So for the past few years, I'd say around when I was 14, that was a very big change. When I was 14, it's kind of when I started to believe a lot more in signs, and that the universe, you know, you could talk to it and that you could do things like that. But I knew 0.01% of what I know now back then. Here's the thing, I was in a relationship for like 2 years and I left it last December. So basically a year ago, and after that I had a very weird, scary awakening. Like full on terrifying kind of things. And it was cool. But that was such a shift in everything. And I had several awakenings last year. I'd say the first one was probably just after turning 17. I awakened, realized I had to do a lot of stuff, which one of those things took a few months, which was breaking up with the person I was with. And because it was definitely a karmic bond, and once I did it, overflowing information. I could hear, see things, do things that I had never done before, and it was the most terrifying thing to possess as a human being so suddenly, like literally overnight. And I got into tarot just before that, and it kind of all felt like divinely guided. It was kind of like mini awakening. Oh hey, here's all this stuff that you didn't know. Let's teach you that so that it doesn't become too overwhelming when you kind of have a breakdown. Have that spiritual awakening that is like a breakdown, then use all of the rest for the rest of your life. So I would say spiritually my awakening was December. As a human being, my awakening definitely before that. And what I mean is the person I am, the things I know, a lot of that came before. And it happens very naturally. It's not something you can force. Taking the action of breaking up with someone that you know you need to break up with for whatever reason, I didn't realize it would have such crazy an impact. And I think people would have taken that as like, oh my god, a breakdown, this is not what should be happening after I make a decision. No, it's completely what should be happening, because you are breaking down every bad habit, process, thought, everything you've learnt. You are breaking it down and starting from the beginning, and that is exactly what needs to happen during an awakening. That is exactly what happens for me, and it is the most incredible thing afterwards. This year, although it's been shit for the collective and it's been shit for me in some aspects, has been the most incredible year of my life, because I have never known myself better, and I have been given so many blessings because I have accepted everything that has been given to me, and I have just learned to love who I am and everything around me, and being grateful for it instead of being a little prick. And in some cases it's not even like breaking up with someone, although that's a very likely one. If you break up with someone and they're most likely karmic, best thing you'll ever do. It feels shit at first, but I cried for a day, and like I said, I just can't cry. So I just cried for a day, had a spiritual awakening that was just fucking overwhelming, and then I was fine. Most amazing thing ever, I swear to God. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a relationship. It can literally be like leaving a job, or moving country, or cutting out toxic friends, or even like never speaking to your family again, depending on the situation. Obviously, I'm not saying like just snip, let's just never speak to mum again. It depends on you and your situation. Answer Usnani asked, how do I know if someone was my twin flame? You know, the basic principles of twin flame shit is like, it seems really amazing, and then this is like the timeline. Seems amazing, one of you fucks up, the other one fucks up. It's kind of a cycle until you learn some things. It just keeps going. It seems really toxic, but it's just karmic lessons that everyone needs to learn to then end up in the situation. And you just keep going until every person involved, so you and your twin, learn all the lessons. It's like the person for you. That's essentially it. It's your person. Not in a possessive way, but it's your person. And I don't know about you, to all my twins, but it in no way should it be abusive. Can I just put that out there? Neither of you should be emotionally abusive or abused, and that obviously goes for physically as well. Do some parts of the friendship, connection, relationship seem toxic? They seem it, yes, but essentially it's lessons. And having been through at least one of the cycles that we've gone through, I can tell you that it is purely so you can learn something and it doesn't return. But there is so many lessons that you have to learn, and it all depends on how quickly you learn it. How did you strengthen your spiritual gifts when you started? Tarot was something I practiced for ages. It was just under a year when I started to make it into my business, like what I do for a living. The best way to practice was on myself and with people I trusted. I did it with like my best friend and everything. I watched so many tarot YouTube videos and so many tarot related things and wrote so many notes, and I have a tarot book somewhere where I just read everything, and I was like so obsessed with learning about it because I just loved it. I felt so connected to it that all the information had no choice but to stay inside my brain. In terms of intuition and things like that, I've spoken about that, so I'm not going to cover it again. A question I have is about twin flames that awakened at a young age. I know it's very rare, but that's my situation. My divine masculine is 17. Whew. I'm 18. And an awakened divine feminine 18. It's the best. And I listen, hear me out. I know the whole twin flame thing is controversial. I know so many people hate it. I know so many people don't believe in it. I know so many people who do. I know so many people who over romanticize it. I know people who are overly negative about it. I know I've seen it all. And I just don't take on those energies because this is my journey and I'm just going with it. However, I feel as if this happened at a later stage for me, and I'm not talking like 21, I'm saying like over 25, I would hate it. I would physically hate it, and I would not even give it the time of day. Not because I'm impatient, but because I just feel like I would go down a spiral of completely hating myself, because the amount I have awoken because of this single journey, I will never be the same again prior to who I was. I have learned so much. Like, I look back at myself in January and I look at myself now and I'm like, wow, this was like a catalyst for a lot of growth. And even if it's hard, 100% worth it. So it's not very rare. It's not very rare. I know so many people my age in twin situations. I know 18-year-olds, I know 17-year-olds, I know 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. So I would say from around 17 to 23, great time to find your twin, because those are the ages you grow the most anyway. So why not just get through the worst or the most of it during that stage, you know? So I don't really know what your question was, but that's my experience with it. I'm gonna just say your twin is not your toxic ex. I say it all the time. What is the difference between karmic partners and twin flames? This is such a big one. Thank God it was left till last. Like I said, many lessons in a twin flame situation seem very karmic, which is why like people like to call it toxic. When I just want to say that karmic lessons are not, they're not supposed to be abusive. I'm just gonna put that out there. If someone is emotionally manipulative towards you, jealous, petty, controlling, hinders your growth, that's an emotionally manipulative person. And karmic is a lot more like they're there to teach you lessons. And genuinely, my last relationship was karmic. It taught me everything I don't want. The person was lovely, nowhere near abusive at all, but it was very karmic. I learned so much about myself, so much about what I didn't want. And I've been in those emotionally abusive or like manipulative relationships. I've been through someone being jealous. I've been through pettiness. I've been through control, like someone trying to control stuff. I have 100% been in so many situations where someone hinders my growth and hinders my happiness, where I've dedicated myself to someone and it isn't returned. And I can honestly tell you that twins don't do that. Karmic partners do that, as in, you know, the whole hindering of stuff. They don't mean to. It's not because they're a bad person, they're just not right for you. You can love someone, but love isn't enough when that person doesn't help you grow and doesn't add to your happiness and self-love and things like that. My twin is very caring and only wants to see me happy, and that is exactly how I feel about him. Twin flames are supposed to be very supportive of you and your decisions, and essentially want the best for you, whether that's with or without them, but they always want to be there. Twins are very understanding and would never even dream of hurting you, and it does happen. You will get hurt at some point in time, whether it's because you self-sabotage or they did something. It's called mistakes and it's called the cycles that you go through in these connections, but it's never done on purpose, and the intentions are never negative. And if someone's putting you through that with bad intentions, or they hurt you on purpose, or they hurt you over and over and over again, that's not a twin. That sounds very karmic. It's essentially you. This person is you. So it's like they give you the love that you would give yourself, and you give the love that they should be giving to themselves. That's what it's like. Whereas karmic people, it's kind of just like, oh, this isn't just another relationship. Oh yeah, I'm totally gonna marry this person, and then they go ahead and be like negative Nancy and hinder so many things, but teach you lessons essentially at the end of the day. And when you're in those lessons, you don't even realize they're lessons. I realized all my lessons after coming out of the relationship, and most people are actually afraid to leave karmic relationships. I know I was. I spent months deliberating leaving my ex for it to like be the best thing I ever did. I left my karmic relationship to find myself, and I found myself, and I'm the best motherfucking person I know. So karmic partners teach lessons and can hinder a lot of happiness, but you learn why they're there, and they're not supposed to be abusive, I believe. I mean, they can be. I think karmic partners can be abusive, but I don't even know at this point. And twins are not toxic, and they are not abusive in any way possible. They are just learning lessons that you need to learn too, whether you're in communication or not, because like I said, I went through the whole separation thing. That person will be thinking of you every second of the day and need you. Yeah, you just care about each other way too much to let things go to shit. So you learn your lessons, and it's painful and it's weird, and you question everything, and you think, why am I here a lot of the time? Why am I putting myself through this? And the answer is not because I'm waiting, but because it's worth it if it ends up the way it's supposed to. And if it doesn't end up the way it's supposed to, or the way you believe it's supposed to, the universe has a better plan for you. And that's exactly what my mindset is. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, because the universe has a better plan for me. You know what that better plan for me is? Where is he? He's somewhere here. Timothy Chalamet. I'm gonna marry that man, I swear to God. Hi to my twin, apologies, but I'm going to marry Timothy Chalamet. What can I say? I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will be doing more Q&As. I will see you guys in the next video, but I hope you have an amazing weekend, an amazing week, an amazing life, because you fucking deserve it. And I hope you love yourself, because ain't nobody gonna do it for you, boo. I mean, I will. I will love you. I'll love you. Bye. I love you.